It's hard to describe the feeling of finding a new hobby, a new skill that just clicks with you. Whether it felt right from the start, or if you kept at it until it just hit. It could be anything. Finally being able to draw hair right, baking macarons that didn't become pools of sludge on the baking sheet, or having your small game you coded to work after hours and hours in the terminal debugging. We've all been there, and we've all felt that elation, that sense of triumph, when everything just felt conquerable. The days, weeks, months, years spent, the tears of frustration, the sacrifices made to get to where you were. But inevitably, you see it. Someone on Twitter drew the most dazzling background you've ever seen. An acquaintance from school opened their own photography company right after graduation. A programmer prodigy making the news at age 15. That sport you were getting into, people your age are Olympic athletes when you're just still learning the rules of the game. You see these amazing people just blast past you while you just barely left the starting line. There was an image on Twitter about a sculpture made back in the 1600s. It's currently in Rome, and it looks beautiful. You don't have to be an art guy to understand just how jaw-droppingly amazing it looks. It was made by an Italian sculptor named Gian Lorenzo Bernini, except this was made back when he was 23 years old. Can you imagine making something like this in your life, let alone in your 20s? How about something less abstract? The original wave of YouTube hype was back in the late 2000s. The time when there weren't any YouTubers, just people that recorded skits in 4080p just for the fun of it. Close to 10 years later, we see a generation of professional creators gather millions of subs, some before they can even legally drink. This isn't just about YouTube. Chefs, musical artists, the list of people at the top of their craft is long, and their runway for improvement even longer. But I think we forget the amount of time and effort these individuals put into their craft. The sacrifices that they had to make, especially those that start young. Often, they leave the safety net of normality to pursue their dreams, and we're not even going to talk about those that don't make it. It reminds me of the manga Look Back by Tatsuki Fujimoto. In it, the main character, Fujino, does manga for her school newspaper. One day, a mysterious student, Kyomoto, has their manga put next to hers in the paper, and Fujino realizes just how out of depth she's in. Her own art looks childish and abysmal in comparison. Motivated, she works hard, practices, sacrifices so much to improve. Her grades tank. Relationships with her friends and family suffer tremendously. Years go by, and after all that, after everything she's put herself through, the gap between their skills just increases. She finally pays a visit to the mysterious student, and there, Fujino finds out just how outclassed she is. Not by innate skill or inborn talent, but by the sheer amount of hard work she couldn't even begin to fathom, and the kind of life lived to get good at art. The manga deserves an entire video just talking about it, and thankfully, there's a whole bunch to take a look at. But I digress. It's easy for us to say we want to be good at something, but we often forget just what it takes to get there. This video isn't going into the YouTube Hall of Fame. It probably isn't even going anywhere. But this is my stake in the journey to try to do something new. Something I wanted to do for 10 years but never did start. Most of us will try to catch up to those better, those who started earlier, those more gifted. Most of us will fail. Despite knowing that, keep on drawing. Keep pushing, falling, failing. Hang up your consolation prizes on the wall. When you're at the bottom, as long as you're willing to give it another go, there really is nowhere to go. Nowhere to escape, but up. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you liked it, give it a like and leave a comment. And if you're interested in seeing where this channel goes, consider subscribing and you'll find out when I do.